Today I'm going to show you how to use Google Drawings to make a mood board. So your first step is to go into your Google Drive and you're going to create a new file using this plus sign here. Usually Google Drawings is going to be in the More button, More, Google Drawings. In the Google Drawings, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to title my project. So I will title it my last name, and this will be my mood board sample. So in a mood board, typically there's usually a background. It could be a background color, it could be a background image. I'm going to go up to Insert, Image, and search from the web. And Google Drawing will let you do a Google search of safe images that are approved for reuse right within the Google Drawings application. So I'm going to do a very natural, earthy sort of collection. I would like some greens, maybe like a pink or a salmon-y color. Scrolling till I see something I like. This actually has a lot of the colors that I want. I can click it once and insert, or I can just click it twice and it will add it to my drawing. So my mood board is going to be 8.5 by 11, but this photo is not large enough for 8.5 by 11. So to expand a photo proportionately, so I'm not making it super long or super tall and skinny, if you drag it from the corners, that's how you can get it to be symmetrical and proportionally larger or smaller. Then I want to line it up. I actually really like the pinks here, so I kind of want the pinks to be in my drawing. I'm going to get it approximately lined up with my artboard, my 8.5 by 11. But now it's too big and I can't see my artboard. So if I double click on the photo, you'll notice that around the edges, I get these black bars. When I hover over it, and instead of the crosshair, I get the left and right arrow, that's how I can crop my image. And so I can see, I'm going to Control Z and undo that. So I can see the checkerboard of my artboard behind it, right? So I know on the right side, I need to make this smaller. I can also go by my guides up at the top to know where to stop. There we go. I'm at the end. And the edges might be perfectly lined up, but we're going to drag them up and see. Yeah, it looks like they were fine before. So we're going to leave it. Good. So that's my background image. I know, though, that this background image for mood board is going to be super saturated with color, and it might overtake the other images that I have. So I want to make this a little bit faded, which I'm going to actually make it a little bit transparent. So if I go up to Format Options and I go down to Adjustments, it's going to let me adjust the transparency of this image. So it's going to make it look like it's a little bit faded, a little bit transparent. I still want to see the colors in it, but I don't want it to compete with the main images I'm going to have. So I'm going to put my transparency about there. You can, in your images, you can also adjust the brightness of any image, right? So you can make it, that's actually kind of like a little bit brighter. Maybe I'll adjust the brightness too, right? So a little brighter, and then you can adjust the contrast. If you wanted to recolor it, when you click on the recolor option, it'll do one of these really bold, vivid recolorings. Maybe you see something and you want it in grayscale, right? Maybe that's your aesthetic, then you can go ahead and do that. So I'm going to close that. I'm pretty happy with this as a background now. So my next step is I need to give this a title. I need to put the name of my brand somewhere on this board. So I went up to insert a text box, and we're going to say the name of my brand is Ease. I don't really want the font in black. I'm not really going to have black in my collection. So I'm going to go up here. I'm going to change the text color. Let's say white. Maybe white will work. And I'm going to change the font style. I've used this one before. I actually like this one. I like the loose, soft sort of handwriting one. So that's what I'm going to choose. This is also way too small for the board. So let's try a 60. 60 looks good. I'm going to make this text box just big enough so it just fits around here. And then you can't really see this white, right? This white font isn't showing up. So I'm going to choose fill color and I'm going to fill the entire text box. I'm not really crazy about any of these colors. So if I go down here to the plus sign, I get to do a custom color. I'm super into like the natural earthy sort of greens. So I'm going to try somewhere around there. So that's a hue I want. And then within this, you can go ahead and move your cursor around. I want something lighter. Something like that. We'll see. Let's click OK and see what it looks like. Oh, that's not bad. I actually like that. So then I'm going to click the entire box. See how my cursor is blinking? That means I'm editing the text right now. But if I click the outside of my text box, now I can add a border. So right now there's no border, but let's have the border weight in 8. That might be a little bit heavy. Let's make the border weight a little bit smaller. That's good. And this is how you adjust the border color. As I said, I don't have black in my collection, so I don't really want the black color there. There, so that's nice. Then I can easily move around the text box wherever I want the title to go. So when you get this red bar, this means it is aligned with the center. When I go to the left and right, now I know this is exactly in the middle of my mood board. For this particular mood board, that's what I want to have. So another requirement for a mood board is you need to have a color palette, right? You need to be able to tell your vendors or the buyers what are the colors that are going to be present in this collection. So if you go to colorhunt.co, they have free color palettes that you can download, ones that are already made. You can also go to new, you can look at trendy ones, popular ones, random ones. I'm going to see, these are actually pretty close to the colors I would want to use in my collection. Sort of this is more of like a dusty sea or something and a salmon, but these two colors and this dark teal, I'm super crazy about. So I'm going to download this image and then I'm just going to copy it to my clipboard. So now it's copied and then I can right click with my mouse and I can click paste and it's going to paste it. That's gigantic. I don't need my color palette to be that big. So again, I'm going to double click on the image. I'm going to grab one of the black bars and I just need a little strip of the colors. I just need something to give people an idea of what my collection is going to be. I'm going to put this down here. I actually don't want so much of that salmon to show. I think that's a little bit too much. So I'm going to shrink it a little bit like that. There, that's a little bit more bearable. So now the next step, I can do the same thing. I can put a border around this if I wanted to. I don't think I'm going to do that here, but you also need to give each of your colors a name. So I'm going to insert a text box again. So the first one is kind of it's a rich salmon. I'm just going to call it rich salmon because it's my collection. I can name it whatever I want. Then I'm going to select the text. I would like the text to be aligned to the middle. And I generally don't really use Arial font ever. Something a little bit more interesting, maybe I like Calibri. I tend to use that one a lot. But this is a little bit too wide, so let's make it smaller. Then I'm going to lay it on top of my color. Here we go. That's good. Then I need to rename all 4 of these, hopefully with the same font and the same size. So I'm going to hit Control C and then Control V to copy it 3 other times. Again, I'm going to wait for that red line to make sure that it's lined up in the middle of my color palette. There we go. There we go. And then I just need to rename these. So this one looks like charcoal. Oh, so that L went on the other line. So I need to make my text box a little bit bigger. There we go. This one is not salmon. This one is like a dusty ocean, we'll say. You do not need to have 2 names for all of your colors, but you definitely can. And then this is like a sorbet. Sort of, depends what flavor you're eating. Okay, so let's say, so there's my color palette. My next steps are I need to add approximately 15 other images that really speak to my collection and what my collection is. So you can either save a lot of photos beforehand in your Google Drive. You might have a lot of photos on your camera or your device that you've already taken and you want to use those. I'm just going to search the web. This collection is going to be made from organic fabrics. So maybe I want to highlight some of the fabric. Ooh, that's not going to be soft on the body. These look really pretty. These look actually like almost in my color story too. So I'm going to insert that. Again, this is a little bit gigantic. So I'm going to crop it by double clicking, grabbing the black little sidebars. Oh, that one didn't work out. I'm going to Control Z. That moved the whole image by accident. Good. Then I click anywhere out of there. We're going to shrink that. That's still gigantic. All right, let's put that. I don't know where we'll put that. There. Right, but you can keep playing around with it. Now, let's say I'm not too thrilled about how this looks. I want to angle it a little. You can simply click this little ball at the top, and then that's how you can rotate things left or right. Now, let's say I wanted to rotate all of this, the text and all the words on top. If I just click my palette, it's only going to rotate the palette bar and all the text stays the same. I'm going to Control Z to undo that. If I hold my palette and I hold the Shift key while I select each of the text boxes that I made, then what I can do is I can go up to arrange and I can group these items. So what that means is now this is all one item. So if I want to rotate my entire color palette with the words, it's going to rotate the words as well, right? So maybe I want to do that. Maybe I don't want anything straight on my mood board because I want it all angled. I'm not sure why it didn't take the words with it though. Let's try that again. In theory, that should work and you should be able to move it, but I will problem solve with that one later. One other thing I do want to add is, let's say you're going to add, I'm just going to look for organic shoes. I knew it was going to be some dirty, nasty stuff like this. These are actually really cute. Chanel doesn't make organic shoes, so I don't think this is true, but we're going to put it in here just for the sake of demoing. Oh, it's OC. It's not Chanel. Okay. Again, I'm going to crop this image, make it smaller. I don't need it that big. And then I want to show you how to layer some items. Okay, so I'm going to grab the corner. I'm going to make it smaller. Let's say I want to put these shoes here, only I don't want them in front. I would rather have this fabric image in front. So what I can do is I can go to Arrange again. I go to Order, and this is the order that you want the pictures to show up. So if you picture what order, if they were sitting on your desk, what order would you want them to show up? I'm going to bring this fabric image to the front, and there we go. And now this image of the fabric piled up is in front of my other image. So that's what you have. You'll continue to add images, rotate, move them around, work with transparency, colors, and have fun.